EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Today, Week 17 is upon us, and we've got a good one in store here, as it'll be the New Orleans Saints taking on the Baltimore Ravens.
The ball on the tee, we're set for football. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium.
And this one over the back line of the end zone. Well, they definitely don't want to give him a shot at returning it. That's obvious. So the ball will come out to the 30.
I should probably sign a head, boy, because I got all the heads, boy. All that drink, you got to chill. I be on my little mouse drip. All that rapping, pay your bills.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Murray off play action. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 16 yards on the game's first play and a quick first down.
Time to give some credit to the big fellows, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete. You look at this Baltimore defense. They were terrific last week against Buffalo in that victory.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? To throw, it's Murray. Gets this complete to Shaheed. That one good for 26 and a first down.
First and 10 at the 24-yard line.
They'll run with Spears. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Right back to Spears. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Now Murray, he bootlegs it. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
2nd and 6.
And now Murray's going to set up the throw. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
Brent, I think he's just grateful to get back to the line of scrimmage and avoid not just losing yardage, but a big hit on that play as well. That defense closed on him quick and forced a quick surrender out of bounds.
play of this opening drive coming up. This is third down. Olave motioning to the left. Murray now. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there, 4th and 3. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
And his kick here is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll bring this out to the 30. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line.
No, we changed it. Report. Go ahead. Sit up.
They'll run here with a rookie. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a 1st down.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. Brian Brzee fought in and got him down. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
Boy, did they ever. And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
No. I got him. Middle.
Now Jackson. Here's Griffin on the catch. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down.
13. Right shot.
Here's Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown. Rashad Bateman. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens have answered that early field goal to take a 1st quarter lead. Extra point splits the uprights. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Here's Murray. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
Well, one of the things we talked about coming into this was we were never going to question the fight that he's going to have for all 4 quarters of a game. But ideally, you want him fighting for big plays and first downs early, not fighting just to get back to the line of scrimmage, as we saw right there.
And defensively, Baltimore's in a dime look here on 3rd.
What you got? I know sauce.
Throwing now is Murray. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. So problems with errant passing continuing. Remember, he threw 2 picks in the loss last week, and now another here in this first quarter.
Sometimes, partner, this is the result of a quarterback who's simply trying to do too much. Feels like he's trying to make up for what he did last week, and he can't do it all on one throw.
After the interception, here's Jackson. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
And to put it mildly, this is a tough spot defensively. They have to come right back out and defend their red zone. But how about that good first step towards forcing them to settle for at least 3 points? I think they're also thinking bigger right now. Imagine being able to stop them totally and change the momentum.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports.
DC, ready? Hey, sit hard! Sit hard! 180! Hey, Ozzy! Sit hard! Middle! Sit hard!
And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Well, that play never really got off the launching pad. He had a linebacker in his face before he had a chance to do much of anything.
Yeah, I think it's big boys up front, that offensive line. They've got to do a little bit better job of protecting him if they're going to continue to run the option like this.
That's hot!
Now the first carry here for the running back. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A great play there. His 12th rushing touchdown on the year. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Extra point right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to 11. Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best of the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
So from the 37, here's a 2nd and 8. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. There's Chris Olave.
A gain of 8 there on the play. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Murray now to throw. He'll try to pick it up himself. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by Roquan Smith.
That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands.
Jackson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Now Jackson taps this forward, jet sweep. Oh, that is well read defensively. A great job of setting the edge, and that little touch pass is going to turn into a loss. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Middle. Hey.
Here's Jackson to throw. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Hey, Ozzie, sit up.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down.
Everything's going right here in this 1st half, and they've got a good lead, and part of that can be attributed to their success on 3rd downs. This is another conversion here, and they can look to really open things up now with this 1st and goal.
Hey, Ozzie, you Hey, shot. Go, sit hard. Hey, shot. Hey.
Again, Jackson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And in for the Ravens touchdown. From a yard out. And the Ravens are able to stretch out their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is up to 18 now.
Saints 3.
Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And that one not returnable, not by a long stretch, over the back line of the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 35-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 30 before being taken down. 23 yards, the final tally.
and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Here's Murray. He's going to look deep down the field. And he knocks the ball away and it falls incomplete.
The scoreboard tells the story for him, a little bit bleak, and while it's not quite desperation time yet, it's definitely getting close, but the defense reads the scoreboard as well. They're going to back up and make them really earn it.
Now Murray. There's a short one pulled in by Simmons. Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line. Out of the gun, here's Murray. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8. They're going for it. It's Murray. He'll try to do it himself. Airs it out toward the corner of the end zone. Oh, they've intercepted Murray for the 3rd time. Kyle Hamilton picks it. And the Ravens are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. And they've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So, to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
Until about the 23.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23.
No, we change it. You. Hey! Right shot! Hey!
Jackson. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
On 1st and 10, it's Spears. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It's a loss of 4 on the 1st down play.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Murray going to throw. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. Open man down the field. It's a tight end center. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down.
1st and goal.
Here's a give to Spears. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll try to run this one in. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, his 5th overall. And the Saints are able to cut into that deficit.
And they can thank their defense for this one. They were set up with a short field following the turnover, but they took care of business as well, working their way down and finishing with a strong run into the end zone for their first touchdown of the game.
Grupe able to add the PAT, and it makes the score 21-10. Following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. To throw is Jackson. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line.
The Saints, they'll take over first and 10 at the 31-yard line.
First and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. They'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's second down. To throw is Murray. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
There's a quarterback who's learned his lesson. He's thrown a few interceptions so far. That time he said, I'm making sure nobody catches this one.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Hey. Big Ace open, Big Ace open.
Back to throw. Murray. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Grupe for the Saints field goal. A 51-yard attempt.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with an 8-point lead, probably not too much of an impetus to try and do too much here. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, looking for Andrews downfield. And he'll be taken down after big yardage. But, folks, there is a flag down, and they're already walking this one back.
13. Go. Hey, Ozzy! Go right here.
Now it's Jackson. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now it's Jackson. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half.
Right. Middle. Sit up.
On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break.
Bradley Kenyon set to kick off.
The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the 2nd half. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the 2nd half, Charles, remember that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
And they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
180. Ready, shot. Hey.
Jackson from the shotgun. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he'll get positive yardage there as he'll be touched down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd and 5.
New Orleans adding some depth to the secondary. They've got 6 DBs out there now for 3rd.
180. Ready, shot. You at X. Alpha.
Jackson now. And he is caught. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Jackson on target to Brown for a Ravens first down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
180. Ready, shot.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Now he breaks free in the middle of the field. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Ravens have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Extra point splits the uprights. And the lead is up to 15 now. Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And that one not returnable. It's over the back line to the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 30-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
This 2nd and 4. On play action, it's Murray. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. And this hit straight to the sideline. I don't think they're going to let him get away with that. Nope, they won't. Here comes the flag. Here's Bradley Pinion now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Raise up, get hard, 180, and go. Get hard. Hey, middle. You change it.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's caught inside the 25. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A great effort there. 75 yards. And the Ravens are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line. So this is going to come out to the 35. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. It's a loss of a yard, so they'll wind up crediting him with a sack, and it brings up 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Buzz. 2-2. Shit. Buzz.
Murray now. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. To throw, it's Murray. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. He's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force him up.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. 54 yards. And the Saints get a bit closer. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
Point after, good by Grupe. And that will cut the lead down to 15. Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
We saw it, too. Nobody in the vicinity of that throw, and that earns him the penalty.
Yeah, you've got to at least get it close enough to one of your own guys in order to dodge the penalty.
Here's Jackson. It's complete to Brown, right side. Call it an even 20 yards on the pickup. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
A gain of 20 on the play. It's now 3rd down.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Throwing is Jackson. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. He's going to have the first down and then some. Still fighting for more. And he's going to get this all the way down to the 2 before he's wrestled out. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Oh, man, disappointment that he couldn't finish that off in the end zone. What an effort there, doing all he can to get to the pylon, and he's going to wind up out of bounds just short. But a huge play there, going to set him up with 1st and goal from very short range.
Hey, middle.
Now Jackson. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. They'll try to run this one in. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Ravens get another 3rd-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
At their own 35-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Murray now to throw. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down.
The plan was clearly to challenge them by sending a blitz on second down, but even the extra guys couldn't catch him in the backfield, though. He doesn't scramble for a first, but he does get the last laugh by evading the blitz and getting beyond the line of scrimmage.
Throwing now is Murray. He'll try and do this himself. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
Still just the third quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on fourth. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. Looking deep downfield. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Now a 2nd and 10. Out of the gun to give to Spears. And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. That good for 19 and a first down.
First down. A gain of 19 yards. And the Saints first down.
Here's Murray. They'll set up the screen for Spears. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. So that one a disaster. A big loss there with second down coming up.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
He throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
How about the coverage we just saw break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and the deficit falls under 20 now. It's a 19-point game. So his third field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these threes into sixes.
And sevens, and probably even eights. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear. They want to close this gap.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Second and 3 at the 42-yard line.
Come on!
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
I'm ready.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and 3.
180. Come on. 180. It's hot.
Here's a give up the middle. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
You change it.
Jackson. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And a great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the first. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
First and 10 at the 48-yard line.
180! 180! Press up! Sit up!
A slant route caught by Bateman. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
Second and inches at the Saints' 42-yard line.
180! Good! 180! It's up! Sit up!
Now a handoff running for the middle. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Hey, hey! Middle!
Here's Jackson to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And incomplete on the deep ball. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Here's 2nd and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. 97 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
At the 23-yard line.
180! Sit up!
Running game working, they'll stick with it on first down. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Partner, you and I have struggled with this for years. You've got the lead. Just take care of the football and burn some of that clock. But there's something to be said for not taking your foot off the gas as well, because you can never have too big of a cushion.
That one, though, falls incomplete.
They call it a loss of a yard there. And that'll bring up 4th down.
A loss of a yard.
Tyler Luke now to try the field goal. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against too.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out, because now it's not a total loss, because as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Here's Murray. That is incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
2nd and 10. Throwing again, Murray. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Out of the gun, here's Murray. And this is going to be incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Now Murray's got to have this one. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
Yo.
To throw is Jackson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's caught at the 10. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there. 52 yards. And the Ravens have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the 4th.
Tyler Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll bring this up to the 35-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on and get back to practice in the next couple of days.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Well, it wasn't always pretty, but the interception there, that means that they should get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, this is not a game that they're going to preserve for posterity on defense, but they did finish it off, didn't they? They did make the winning play to close things out. They'll take that one and head to the locker room.
Taken down by Pete Werner.
No gain on the play.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Up the middle they go. It's Griffin. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Hands it off out of the gun. And a good job defensively. They stopped him short of the first at the 32. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Ravens, they get back to 500 at 8-8 with one game remaining. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.